Hi, my name is Tessa Donahue, and I'm here today to review the results from our recent hazard analysis of your office. So your employee population currently has 60 full-time employees ranging in age from 22 to 50 years old. The employee population is 60% female and 40% male. 55% of the employees have completed graduate level education and the other 45% have a college degree. These employees typically work an 8-hour day with the majority of the time spent on the computer and the phone. All of these employees are salaried and they're not required to take breaks legally, which can lead to several hours of sitting. There's currently no safety committee at this location, and there's no history of OSHA activity or citations. There has been a history of 3 reported cases of carpal tunnel in the past with more than 5 days of lost work time. The site analysis measured things physically and psychosocially. We looked at temperature, light, sound, humidity, and ergonomics for the physical environment. We also looked at skill discretion, decision authority, decision latitude, and job demands for the psychosocial aspects. The first hazard that was identified was highly repetitive motion due to a large majority of these employees being on their computer most of their 8-hour day. This repetitive motion puts strain on their muscles and tendons in the upper body, so the neck, the hands, and the arm, and puts them at risk for repetitive strain injuries, things like tendinitis or carpal tunnel syndrome, which can cause a lot of pain and discomfort when trying to complete their work on a regular basis and can be a very costly thing to remedy. Secondly, there was issues with the workplace temperature and the humidity. The temperature was recorded at a fairly normal temperature, especially when reviewing the OSHA standards, and the humidity was as well, but depending on the location to kind of where the air was pushed out, there could potentially be a cold draft that could be uncomfortable for certain employees, so that's something that needs to be taken into account. There was also a report of mold in the bathroom. Neither these are high risk. The mold is not something that the employees are exposed to all of their workday, just when they're going to the bathroom, and that's something that would be easily fixed. Thirdly, there was an issue with the noise level. With the HVAC system running, the noise level in the office almost doubled. This isn't necessarily high risk in terms of like hearing issues, but it definitely can cause disruption for conversations and concentration for the employees trying to work when they're closer to the HVAC system. Lastly, physical inactivity. Most of the employees in this office were utilizing a sitting desk setup versus a standing desk setup, which caused them to be very sedentary for the majority of their workday. They were also in front of a screen for most of this time. Because work breaks are not legally required, this encourages a lot of sitting. So that's something to take into account. So let's quickly review the recommendations. We'd like to implement hourly reminders to employees to take breaks from their desks to encourage movement and give their bodies a period of rest from keying and screen exposure. We'd like you to offer and install stand workstations for all employees. We'd like you to offer and promote exercise throughout the workplace. Implement an employee health and wellness program to further encourage the emphasis on being healthy at work. Incorporate things like discounts, incentives, and opportunities to exercise at or around work. Implement an ergonomic training for all current employees. Incorporate this ergonomic training into the new hire orientation process as a method of primary prevention. And also implement an ergonomic assessment for all the employee workspaces and workflow to identify any potential concerns that need to be addressed. Continued, so we'd like you to offer an ergonomic support equipment for all employees, especially if risks are identified during the assessment phase. Things like keyboards and mouses that are identified or made specifically for highly repetitive of jobs like this. Also offering speech recognition software for employees that are already experiencing issues or as a primary prevention method for repetitive strain issues. We'd also like to incorporate an evaluation of job demands and job strain in the yearly review process. If employees are identified to need changes in any of those areas, you can work with your employees to increase or decrease workload or increase efficiency. Also, we'd like to see an HVAC contractor employee to assess the HVAC system and mitigate the noise issues. We'd also like to move employee desks that are close to the HVAC system so that the sound and temperature variations are not as much of an issue. And lastly, we'd like to monitor and mitigate the mold reports in the bathroom. Two important things I'd like to mention is that management commitment is really needed in this time, and also a safety committee is something that needs to be implemented and encouraged throughout the employee population. So I appreciate you taking the time to review all of this with us, and if you have any questions or concerns as you continue to go through this process, we're happy to help. Thank you.